Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day and that you're all doing well. Decided to talk about a very popular topic. It kind of comes down to how to sell and also what to sell on eBay. These are very popular topics, and I can talk about this because I used to sell on eBay a lot before I got started on YouTube and cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. I was a very big eBay seller. I spoke about this on my other channel, but it's not the same feeling, if you will, depending on how you want to really talk about it. So without further ado, to jump right into it, for those of you who may be relatively new to the topic or to the idea of selling stuff online, especially on eBay, it is not difficult. It seems a bit daunting in the very beginning simply because I think a lot of people don't. I think it seems daunting to be able to figure out what to buy and sell and how to put stuff actually on eBay, but it's not that difficult at all. So I'll give you like a bit of a rundown exactly how to get started. This is going to be like an introductory course. I'm not here to actually like help you package the thing and then send it out. It's more of like a how to get started, because you can make a lot of money selling on eBay, because the number one rule, people will buy anything. That's not a joke. I mean, like, they'll literally buy anything that is actually for sale. It's just a matter of you figuring out what it is and then selling it to them. The first thing that you should do, without a doubt, is actually explore eBay. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's not, because you have to figure out, especially if you've never done so before, how things are sold, how things are listed, what things look like. If you've ever purchased anything on eBay before, and let's say you're looking for, I almost said a cat brush. What do people buy on eBay? A sweater. And you see 5 different listings for that sweater, and you open up each one of them into a new tab, and you look at the way that the listing is written. It could be the exact same sweater, but one of them will stand out to you, and you'll realize that it looks a bit better than the other ones, and sometimes some of them look a bit janky. So it's important for you to realize what you're trying to not only market to people, but also how things should look. As far as also exploring eBay, you also have to pretty much find what you want to sell. And this is probably my favorite part for a number of reasons. This kind of propels you into exactly what you're going to be doing for the next couple of years as you do start to actually sell on eBay. When I got started selling on eBay, which is also another very important part as well, it was just random things kind of that I could kind of find to put onto eBay just to make sure that I was kind of like doing it correctly and trying to sell stuff. But then eventually I remembered when I was a kid, I used to be really into comic books, like really into comic books. It was kind of insane. I still have tons of comic books, but the point is, all the comic books, I knew everything about them. I knew the characters, I knew their birth dates, I knew when this happened, their first appearances, their second appearances, their last appearances. I'm not even half joking, I knew everything. So one of the things that I first started doing when I was on eBay is I was selling like shoes and coats and all this other whatever I could find, and then I realized I knew everything about comics. So I got into selling comics. And I know that sounds really stupid or whatever, but even when I tell people that I sold comics before, it doesn't seem interesting to them. But I'll tell you exactly why it's interesting, because they have one of the highest markups when it actually comes to selling comic books. It depends on timing and exactly how much you're into it. So every single day, kind of the same exact thing with cryptocurrencies. I look through the news, I look through the trends. What happens very often with the comic book world is that a lot of times they'll release a comic book, and then they'll also release another comic book, the same exact insides, but a different cover. This cover will be limited, maybe only 200, 300, 400 made. Sometimes it's like a very low print run. That one ends up skyrocketing in price, and you would think that it doesn't happen that often, but it happens quite often. Case in point, I don't have any pictures I'm not like a magician to show you guys. There was one, there's a character, her name is Kamala Khan. Pretty sure that's it. She's like the new Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel or something Marvel. And her first appearance was actually in like one little panel inside of the actual comic book. And I remember when the second printing for that comic had come out of one of the other issues, the store that was near me that actually sold comic books, I went inside there, and it's one of those moments where like I saw that the price had risen. I think it was $2.99 per issue. You wonder if you'll find any of these, because I think the price at this point was like $60, $70, $80. Went into the store, lo and behold, it was also a store that no one ever went into. Lucky for me. And they actually ended up having 4 copies. So I took all 4 copies and I slowly went to the cash register and purchased it. The woman didn't say anything. I was expecting her to be like, liar, like as if she knew that I was buying all these things for eBay. I think I sold one of them. I think I put it on for $79.99 or something like that. It ended up selling. And I told myself, because I expected I was going to actually collect comic books for a lot more years, I held on to them. Luckily that I did. I can't remember the exact number of the comic book. If you look at it right now, I think the comics are anywhere from like $600 to $1,200 just per comic, which is absolutely insane. The point is, after all of that, I'm a very, I go off on tangents. The point is, it's important for you to explore eBay and to find a niche. Everyone has something that they're into that other people simply aren't into, but other people are into. I know it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. I'm into comic books. You may not be into comic books, but he, she, him, they may all actually be into comic books as well. And these are the people who I'm going to then be selling to. I'm also into art. You might not be into art, but I know a lot of people. It's very easy to even sell art and mark up art. Not to tell you to kind of like mark up the price of art. It's already kind of high, but the point is, find something that interests you. The last thing you want to do, I sold fur coats. I sold Kanye West sneakers because I knew that the profit was there. You can tell that the light is changing. I film with natural light, and therefore we're going to have some fluctuations in light over the next couple of minutes. Kanye West shoes, books, slippers, hats. I had a friend who had a whole shipment of, I think like earrings from China or something like that. And I was like, give me some earrings. So I sold some earrings. It's good money, but your soul's kind of not in it. Whatever you are into, whatever your niche is, whatever you find fascinating, I can't imagine what people are actually into right now. Sell that. Acquire that. Get more of that for cheap. And this is what you're going to sell. I figured out how to I speak a few languages, and I figured out a very affordable way to be able to acquire foreign comic books, as they are called. So I was able to, while I was selling my normal comic books, I was able to easily acquire German, French, Spanish, and Italian books, comic books, quite easily. And it also helps when you speak those languages because you can actually message the people directly on eBay to be able to send them to you in general and also for a cheaper shipping rate than you normally would find on their website. This could be, I have it written down, and this is only just a couple of things. Phones, clothing, electronics, shoes, hats, memorabilia is a very big thing. If you happen to live in a country or a state or a province where something historical took place, check eBay for certain things like that. There's a huge market for memorabilia of said type. Even like Disney toys, like there's so many things. Like I promise you, anything you can think of, put it into eBay. You're gonna find an entire thing for it. Thousands of listings. It's just a matter of the interesting part is trying to figure out how to make yours stand out. But as time goes on, you'll do really good. You have to start with things that are in your house. And I stress this because I'm trying to tell you in the most friendly way. I have seen before in my life people who I knew who wanted to start businesses. They started businesses without really understanding how to start a business. So they may have started a physical location, they may have started a store, they may have started a lemonade stand, whatever. People didn't start lemonade stands, but you get kind of what I'm saying. And it didn't work out. If you are planning in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years to be a mega company corporation, you have to start out small. And the way that you do so is by, especially on eBay, if you've never used eBay before, eBay has rankings. After you sell something and someone writes like a comment back, whether that be positive or negative, you should only want positive comments. You'll have a number. And that number, you click on that number and you'll see all the rankings that you've had from people. Oh, great seller, quick shipping, love that the item's amazing. You've seen all these things before if you've ever been on eBay. If you're trying to start selling and going big and hard at the very beginning, it's not going to work when you have a 0 as your actual number. It is important for you, and I think this is very important for a lot of people who are trying to get into this, Find stuff in your house already that you don't want, you don't need, you've been looking to get rid of. The list goes on and on. We all have stuff. I can look around the room. There's a whole bunch of my hobbies that I no longer do. I can kind of see all of them. The old phones, there's 2 of them right here that I no longer use, old tablets. It all adds up to extra money. This helps you because not only do you learn how to post things on eBay, you learn how to ship it out, how to do it in a timely manner, how to set all of your stuff. And then when you actually send that out to the person in a timely manner and yada, 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 they end up writing, you get those numbers start piling up. Ideally, you want between 5 to 10 before you really start going big. And logically, you should have more than those many items in your house that you don't need. It also helps to put some extra money in your pocket, which is also very good, especially if you're trying to sell some like certain things. Like depending on what you may be trying to sell, you may not currently have the money for it. So if you sell the stuff that you don't need and you end up making an extra 150, 250 out of it, well, there you go. You now have the money to be able to sell the other stuff that you're trying to sell later on, which is also a really big thing. A lot of people don't think about that. All the fur coats I sold and all the other stuff I sold and all the blah, blah, blah I sold and the Kanye West shoes and sneakers, it gave me enough money to, I think at one point, it was kind of weird. I found this one company that was actually selling the comic book that I knew was coming out that I wanted. And I contacted them directly, not as a like a store, a distributor, but it was kind of like a, hey, I want to buy 100. Can you sell me 100? And they were like, of course we'll sell you 100. I think it came out to $300, like $324 or something like that, after all the taxes and stuff like that. Each of those comic books, by the way, I was able to actually sell for like 99 each because it was a special variant cover. Yeah, good times. Anyway, sell stuff around your house that you don't need. I think a lot of people forget about that. There's all stuff around everyone's house, regardless if I'm a minimalist or not. There's still stuff around the house that I don't really need that I still could get rid of to actually put more money into other investments that I'm trying to do. The other part, and this is probably one of the most important, please take good photos. There have been so many things that I've looked for on eBay that I found, that I wanted, that I just simply didn't buy because the photos looked like garbage. You know what a good photo looks like. If you don't know how to take a good photo, Google it. If you are trying to figure out how to get more light from so-and-so, take a good photo during the day. Find a white wall. Find something. I promise you, your sales will go up exponentially. When I was selling, first of all, I remember, is it important? I guess, whatever. It's a learning experience. When I was selling the coats, I remember I was looking for like a mannequin to kind of put them on, but it didn't really make a lot of sense. And I think I had I was simply just putting them up against a white wall, like kind of like it shines a lot more than you would expect it to. So like it kind of like makes it look, not even makes it look good. Like it just kind of it presents very well. When I saw other people who were selling the exact same items that I was selling on eBay, when it came down to like comics and the shoes, I was selling the Yeezys and all this other stuff for a long time. You've seen the photos. People have them on their bed. People have them on their dirty floor. People have them on their, so I mean, it just nasty, nasty places. And I'm like, I don't want to, there's no part of me that wants to buy something from you on your sweaty bed. Like I just don't want these things. Find a nice table. Wipe the table down. Make sure it looks okay. If you have a white wall, lean it up against the white wall. Make sure that enough sunlight is coming in. Take the photo, full brightness, bam. If you think it's not a good photo, ask a friend. It's not difficult. Tell your friend, I'm starting a business. How does this photo look? What does it look like? They're like a lot of like professional things. I wouldn't even recommend buying these things. A lot of people sometimes when they're getting into a new venture, they think that they have to have some new, cool, wacky, amazing gadgets that they need to kind of put them ahead of the competition. You don't. It can be incredibly basic. Just find a nice area to take a photo. It's not difficult. Just make sure that you're taking a good photo. If you yourself don't have a phone that is new or up to date or takes amazing 39,000 megapixel photos, ask a friend. Tell your friend to come over. I'll make you some pizza. Can I borrow your phone for an hour? I don't care. Go ahead, borrow my phone. Take 1,000 photos, as many photos as you possibly can, and also post multiple photos on your postings. I don't understand how people some people will post a photo. Why would I want to buy It's on a dirty floor. I can see the cat hair. And you have a photo. I don't want your item, sir and or madam. I just don't want it. Moving on, another thing you should also consider is to sell things that are small. And I know, I don't know at all. I don't know if that even sounds weird or funny or wacky. People don't take that into account. A lot of people try to sell stuff and they try to sell dressers, or they try to sell like swords, or they try to sell like armor. I mean, like I said, there's a market for anything and everything out there. I started larger with coats and progressively got very small. I focused on comics because comics are thin. Comics are lightweight. And I figured out when you sent them, I used to even send them in like really durable, like post office boxes, like very thick boxes. It was very cheap to actually send them out. Same exact thing with my other friend. I told you, the one who got all the stuff from China. They were selling super tiny items. It's very easy to this is a bit of a trade secret. A lot of people actually get a lot of stuff from China. Don't do this as your first thing. Like, don't go running to China or buying stuff from China immediately. You can get stuff very cheap from China. This person was selling like little earrings, little trinkets and stuff like that for Christmas markets. And I mean, these things were, if you want to be honest, because you're all trying to sell on eBay, they were like 15, 10, 20 cents each, little earrings and stuff like that. And that person was selling them for like $15.99, $24.99, and they sold. Because a lot of it is simply perception of this looks pretty enough, this looks awesome enough, the photo is nice enough, and therefore it's definitely worth $24.99. The funny part is when you sell one pair of earrings, you can use that entire ball of money to buy another couple hundred of them, and then the ball kind of keeps on rolling. But then you also save excessively on shipping costs. And also sometimes like smaller items tend to like, they're not screened as much, or like they just don't take as long to actually get sent somewhere, as opposed to like a gigantic large box. If you're trying to send like 15 coats, they're going to be like, okay, well, what's inside the boxes? But if they can scan and zoom the thing over and they see there's a couple of earrings, it goes through a lot quicker. You don't exclusively have to sell something small, but I would heavily recommend, I'm telling you, I sold on eBay for about 3 or 4 years. 3 years? I don't remember how long. Try to focus on something small that gets to a lot of people very fast, and also something that you really want to be able to mark up, which leads into the next thing. It even says here, you want good profits and low shipping. And I will tell you exactly why. For some odd reason that I will never be able to understand, but I'm totally fine with it, people usually don't care what the price of something is. They care about having it, and part of the having process is that they want to make sure that they get it for cheap. You can have an item that is listed for $599. If your shipping is $29.99, you will stop and go, do I really need this? I've purchased art before. I'm not joking. I've purchased art before that was $800, $900. The shipping to where I live was around $52.50, and I stopped the actual sale. I clicked no and contacted the company and said, this is outrageous. How dare you do this to me? Not realizing that I was also just buying a piece of paper with ink on it for $900. It was not the $900 that got me. It was the $50. When I started selling comics, also very important, I found out, I made sure to calculate everything. The cost of the comic, which I used to put between like very thick like cardboards, multiple cardboards wrapped all around, and then bubble wrapped around it, also tied and wrapped up and stuff like that with tape. Inside of the actual box, which I used to use like cushions. Try to be smart with stuff like that as well. Like, don't buy like the little like the foam peanuts. Take old newspapers, crumple them up, put them around the entire thing. It's the same exact kind of cushion. When I was sending these things out, sometimes if I was sending 3 or 4 comics out in the exact same shipment, the cost of shipping would come out to around $34.99. If it was over, I think like 3 or 4 pounds because of all the stuff I had inside of it. And I used to be like, holy, like I don't want to pay $34.99. But then I stopped myself and I'm saying, you're an idiot. If I'm buying these comics, which happened very often, if you decide to get into comics, not even joking, like it's a really good market. If I'm buying, listen, if I'm buying something for $6 and I'm selling it for $199, and I'm selling 4 of these, 6, 12, 18, 24, $24 put into something to make 800, I should not logically care that the shipping is $34.99. I just shouldn't. So even when I knew that the shipping was going to be high, because what I started doing as well is I started translating my actual cost of shipping into their actual shipping, my sales plummeted. These are, the word isn't luxury items. It's like comics aren't impulse buy. Comics are, yeah, in some way a luxury. You don't need comic books to be able to live and survive. These are things that you compile because they have your favorite characters on them, and therefore this is why you buy them. If someone's willing to pay $100, $200, even $50 for a comic book, who the heck cares what the shipping actually is? So what I did is I started lowering. I wish I had some of the examples to kind of show you around here. I have nothing. I should have had something. The actual shipping, I lowered it always, no matter where I was sending it in the world. I didn't care if it was Thailand. I didn't care if it was Brazil, the US, South Africa. Did not care. It was always $4.99. Because I also knew a lot of times if you're looking for certain comics online, especially if you're looking in other countries, you can usually get them for $1, €1. Depends on how good you are at really finding these things. If I can sell the first appearance of Harley Quinn, I'm sure a lot of you know her, came out in Batman Adventures 12? I think it was Batman Adventures 12. I used to find foreign copies of it. Why am I telling you all this? I used to find foreign copies of it. €1, €2, $2.50. This was even before her movies and stuff started coming out in the last couple of years. I used to sell them for $129, sometimes $249, as in $249.99, and they would sell. You just really have to kind of like go on and find these things. But as far as that goes, the point to be made is, even if my shipping normally was around $9.79, when all the numbers were added up together to actually send it to people, I would still lower it to $4.99. Why? Because every other person who was also selling comics, I had the best shipping. I was outselling other people who had lower prices than me. A lot of times the perception also is that if an item is slightly or like a little bit higher, that it has like a bit more value, if that makes any sense. Like yours is more valuable and your photos are also nicer and your shipping is cheaper. Therefore, I'm going to choose you. It sounds ridiculous, but we've all been there before. We've all had a situation where we've seen that the shipping on something was a lot higher than we wanted and did not buy it, regardless of what the price might have actually been at that time. Yeah, that's enough on the low shipping. Make sure whatever you get, especially whatever you choose, that you can sell it for, I don't even want to say 5, 6, 7 times more. Like you can do a lot better than that. Don't force yourself. Don't go crazy thinking about the numbers or whatever. But you should easily be able to, if you buy something for $1, you should be able to sell it for $10. There are tons of apps out there as well. If you decide to go and sell books, you can go to like secondhand shops and all this other stuff. There are like tons of apps where you can actually scan these books and you can actually see what they're selling currently for on Amazon. You'll find a lot of books, I promise you, because I was selling books for a while as well. You'll find books that are $2.99, $1 in a store, and it sells currently for $44 on Amazon. Who knows why someone's buying that particular book for that amount? You're still making crazy good money. Just make sure, just a reasonable, if you're making crazy profits on the item, just keep your shipping low. Don't be greedy. Like if you are greedy, you're going to be broke. You have to work both ways. Someone's even willing to buy your expensive item, give them a low shipping. Free shipping doesn't always work. Sometimes people are skeptical about free shipping. Nothing lower than $1.99. I would even say a $4.99 is kind of the magic key number. Advertising. You can do it for free. We no longer live in the 1950s or 1960s where you have to take out an ad in a newspaper. You have to take out an ad column somewhere. You have to post something in the supermarket or in wherever people used to do stuff back then. Do it on Instagram for free. I had an Instagram page that was exclusively for comic books. And I just started taking photos of the comic books. You like write a little blurb and with the hashtags and stuff like that. And after I think the 30th photo, I was posting around 1 or 2 a day. You start getting messages. Hey, is this for sale? Yes, it's for sale. It's actually on my eBay. How much is it? Go check my eBay. Okay. And all of a sudden, you see 2 sales had come in. And it starts to really tumble from this. There's so many ways right now to be able to advertise for free. Don't spend any money on advertising. Once again, this goes back to exactly what I was saying at the beginning of the video. I tell you all these things because I've done it. And I've seen other people who I tried to steer down the right path who didn't do what I was suggesting for them to do, and their businesses ended up failing. I mean, just try it digitally first. Don't have a physical store location. Everything is digital anyway. Most people, especially with all the stuff that's been going on, a lot of people aren't even in stores, but people are still buying from online retailers because everyone's at home, everyone's on a computer, and people still want stuff. Find free ways to advertise. If you already have a YouTube channel, if you have a blog, a vlog, an Instagram, a Snapchat, a TikTok, and all this other stuff, do it there for free. And you'll start seeing your sales also go up. It's just something that actually organically happens the more you post about it. And the final thing when it comes to actually selling on eBay, and this is going to be the most difficult, it was for me, is learning customer service. More than a few times when I would sell something, you get people who are nasty, rude, evil, mean. You have to learn how to talk to them nicely, because it's not that they're the customer and that they're always right. It's that they're the customer and you want their money. So a lot of times, I think maybe once or twice, I get a little riled up. And if I'm trying to sell something and that person has, you'll find, and don't get annoyed at this, you'll find a lot of people will buy stuff from you on eBay, on Amazon, on wherever. And at some point they'll buy it. And immediately after, you will get a message saying, hey, I don't want this. Your inner body tells you, you bought it. I know you want it. I had a message from a guy one time. I kid you not. I think worst part, I think he bought about 9 comics. Sent me a message, said, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't want any of these comics. And I was like, you clicked buy 9 times. If you've ever bought on eBay, you usually have to either enter a number or click buy. Are you sure you want to buy this? Buy. Are you sure you want to pay? Pay. And then the other pay button. It's not just one click. 9 things. He sent me a message saying that his toddler had bought all of these things. And I said, sir, your toddler purchased 9 comics. I don't know how he did it, but can you just cancel the order? It takes a lot of strength to not curse these people out. I'm going to be honest with you. And also to simply just not write in bold or caps back to them. Maybe it's just my anger level, because I expect people, I expect honesty. I expect just to be able to have like if you made a mistake, send me a message. My girlfriend found out I bought all of these. She's really upset. Gotcha, cool. We'll cancel it. Hope to see you in the next week. Don't lie to me. You're also going to experience a lot of times people are going to buy things from you. This is the worst. This is the worst part. People will buy things from you. They will get the item and then message you that the item is damaged. You know that the item's not damaged, but they'll tell you that the item is damaged and that they want half of their money back. This is one of the worst, because you have a couple of choices. You can choose for them to send the item back and give them a full refund. However, the item that they now claim is damaged is now damaged in some sort of way. They could have gotten it and they could have damaged it. You never know how crazy people are. And then when the item gets back to you, you have to also then hope that it is in perfect condition, especially with a comic book, a very fragile comic book, that is actually in complete working, beautiful order. And then you also have to refund them. Or what you're going to see sometimes is that, and I hope you actually don't get these people. People who will buy stuff from you, say that the item is damaged, but they want to keep it if you give them back half of their money. This also infuriates me a lot as well. Because I used to have big purchases sometimes. Like, it's not all the time. I think winter and a bit of autumn are very good selling times. People are inside more. People are more inside of the computer. Your worst selling times will always be around summer. When it's hot, everyone's outside. No one's really outside or inside trying to buy things. If you sell something at some point in your life for $1,500 cumulatively, multiple items, and it gets to them, and you hear them say, "I want $750 back because I'm not completely happy with it," it drives you crazy. Sometimes you win the argument, sometimes you don't, but it's important to, I would really say, even if nothing more than an hour of your life, learn customer service. Learn how to talk to people, learn how to diffuse the situation, learn how to speak to them, not condescendingly, but in like a, sure, how can I help you? Like, can you tell me exactly what the problem is? And make sure that they give you the exact reason. And it's not something as far as, I'm not happy with it and therefore I want my money back. That's nonsense. Looking at the time, video's running a bit long. Sorry for the longness. I don't know. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Selling on eBay is actually a lot of fun. I used to like it for a number of reasons. Also like the exercise, even just getting outside and like mailing out packages. You make really good money. You build a very solid foundation for knowing how to build a business, how businesses work, how people work, how selling to people works. It's a lot, but it is also very, very fun. And also, even just like as a side income, it's incredible. It's not bad at all. I think I was on like I don't want to say like a bad month, but like I was making anywhere between like $1,500 to like $2,500 as like my side thing after doing it for about a year, 13, 14, 15 months. That's not bad. Selling comic books, making an extra $1,500 on the side, that goes a very long way, especially if you saw my other videos about saving money. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I do hope you all enjoyed. I hope I helped you. I was gonna say gave you something, but that the point is, if I missed something, ask me in the comment section below. I'll be sure to cover your answers, your questions. I'll help you out. I'm here to help you. This is what I'm here for. Anyway, thank you all once again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.